What if we could adopt an agile and lean approach to grow our children, and to support teens and adults, to live a better life in harmony with others? RAD, Resolve, Amplify, and Deploy, is a model of individual growth that can be used from 6 and beyond. RAD helps to do more with less, and to develop a positive attitude with life, by leveraging our strength, and minimizing our weaknesses. RAD tried to balance holistic values that are fundamental to every human being, and it's independent by social status, race, or culture. RAD was developed by a team of psychologists and agile experts at Fempton Institute, based on agile and lean principles. Today these principles are applied in many industries, including manufacturing, marketing, sales, IT, human resources, and software development. Each individual is complex and different, and RAD address only few primary aspects, so that it can stay generic enough to be applied to a broader range of individuals. The main assumption of RAD is that the mental structure of the individual is non-destructive, and able to support a positive progress. Although this may seem obvious, it may not be the case for individuals that have suffered extremely distressing experiences, or have severe mental disorders, or have used drugs that impact their cognitive abilities. The first step in personal growth focuses on finding and removing what prevents us to perform, to become what we'd like to be. This step must be paired by measurable results, which we can use to measure our progress. Most of the impediments are internal, while some are related to the environment. For example, if our impediment is that mathematics doesn't make sense to us, we should try to discuss it with someone who can explain what mathematics is, and how we can use it to resolve practical problems. Internal impediments can result from trauma, or distressing experiences. Fear, desires and insecurity may reduce our ability to relate with others, may distort our perception of the environment, and create anxiety. Different forms of insecurity are common in teenagers, often related with their changing body. Fear is the main trigger of violence, and the individual need to understand why it happened, in order to overcome it. The inability to relate with others at the same level, may also lead to different types of depression. Depression can vary from light to more serious forms that require professional advice, and is one of the main mental disorders, according to the World Health Organization. Overall, the individual can try to remove impediments by finding trust in himself, by developing a positive attitude in life, by seeking inspiration at how other individuals navigated their life among critical difficulties, and by looking at impediments as an opportunity to improve. Negative actions like blaming others, or sabotaging our life with negative behavior, should be removed from the mind. Linked with these issues, we often find use of substances that sabotage our health, including excessive alcohol and tobacco. External impediments may include human rights violations, social and economic status, and many contradictions typical of our society. These factors can be a threat to our mental health if we're not able to find a way out, so it's important to seek help, and to develop the internal strength required to overcome these obstacles as much as we can. Human values play an important part of human development. If we want to resolve, remove, or change something, we usually need to hold on to something else. We need a point of reference that helps us to understand, and to move forward from A to B. It's at this step that we need to know what is the human nature, what values brought us here, and how these values helped us to evolve on this planet. By looking at these values, we should also try to understand how they apply to other beings, not only humans. Among these values we find the agile values of tolerance, respect, and speaking the truth. These values support a positive attitude towards life, and help us to reduce fear and desires. Fear and desires can lead to violence when they grow out of control. It's essential at this step to develop the ability to recognize strong and weak qualities, since in the present age these are usually confused with each other. While human values help to develop strong qualities like respect and tolerance, fear and desires tend to develop weak qualities like anger, anxiety, depression, and violence in all its forms. Nutrition and lifestyle also play an essential part on resolving our impediments. According to Ayurveda and other holistic system of medicine, our body is a transformation of the food we eat. Food is not only what enters our mouth, but what enters through our senses. This means that what we see, what we hear, touch, taste, and smell contribute to form and body-mind complex. Motivational theories can be used to explain different behaviors of the individual. According to psychologists and researchers, these theories try to explain what motivates us, and knowing that, can help us to leverage our own resources, and to express ourselves. Amplification is a dynamic process of increasing a quantity. It's not taking something static, and keep it as is. Each individual has a potential to grow into something, and like for a seed, this process implies a growth into something bigger. The growing rate become measurable, and help the individual to stay focused, by minimizing other distractions. The main point of this step is to find what motivates us, and by contrast what demotivate. It's important to realize that what motivates us should align with the human values we briefly explored before. If we amplify negative thoughts, we'll diverge, and sabotage ourselves with toxic desires and fears. Rather than trying to blame others, we should try to turn all challenges to our own advantage, as opportunities to improve. The ability of non-judging others is important at this step. Human nature is soft and tender, but the environment and other factors can transform and move it away from the human values that we initially set as a reference. So we should try measure where we're going, and make sure we maintain a positive direction towards our life and others. While we amplify our motivations, we should also consider the implications of our choices, and develop an economic view of the various options available. To do that effectively, we should seek the help of who has been there before us. For example, we could seek what suggestions could give us an accomplished artist, if we want to follow that path. This approach could save us from unnecessary pain, if we take a decision that is likely to become a challenge for us. To strengthen our motivations, we could also explore supportive activities, for example, playing our favorite sport with others, or learning a discipline able to shape our body-mind, like Tai Chi or yoga. Learning to play a musical instrument can also support our motivations, since music has a powerful and therapeutic effect on our mind. While deployment in software development means making a software available to others, in this context we use this word to make ourselves available to others, by expressing our full potential. Self-expression is the goal of this deployment. As defined by Maslow, self-actualization refers to the realization of one's full potential. In RAD, this step follows the previous two, and the approach is to use the Pareto rule in order to maximize results and minimize efforts. The 80-20 rule can be used here to ensure our efforts will balance work and our personal life. Too much work can disrupt our personal life, and too little will not help to achieve our goals. If we're motivated in what we do, it will require just a little effort to self-express ourselves. For example, if we're motivated by poetry, we'll develop dedication on this matter, so that we'll be able to express our feelings through poetry. Conversely, if we're more interested in cooking food, we could learn from other chefs, and maybe take classes, in order to develop our skills, and express ourselves. If we're motivated to become a medical doctor, we'll try our best to understand those topics that we like less, for example mathematics or physics. The idea is that once we're motivated, we only need to add a relatively little effort, say 20%, to achieve 80% of our goals. The bottom line of RAD is to grow and give back to the community, to express ourselves and help others doing the same. This principle is aligned with the Agile Manifesto, and the human values that we can use as a reference for our development. So, at Fempton we believe in a sustainable nutrition that helps body and mind to stay healthy, and to live in harmony with all beings. This is the ancient philosophy of Ayurveda, and many other holistic schools of medicine. I hope it makes sense to you as well. Join us. Good things will happen.